Brisket is one of those go-to barbecue meats for me. I absolutely love barbecued brisket. And this one is so simple because we make it, we stick it in the oven for 3.5 hours, and it's done. It's so simple. So I'm going to take about a 4-pound piece of brisket. This is a nicely trimmed brisket, except I have one little fat pocket right here, and I'm actually going to leave that in so that I get that fat to render out in the oven. Now what I want to do is sprinkle that with a little bit of salt and pepper, top and bottom. And you see this fat cap on the top? That's what we want to make sure is up top in our pan when we put it in the oven. That way all the fat can render down into the meat and it makes it so wonderfully tender. Now let's take it over to a little bit of flour. I have between 1/4 and 1/2 cup of flour here. It depends on how big your brisket is. Sometimes it's a little thicker, sometimes it's a little thinner. And if it's a thicker piece of brisket, you only need about 1/4 cup. If it's a thinner piece of brisket like this, you're gonna need closer to about 1/3 of a cup, and I like to have a little extra on the plate. Just wanna make sure it's nicely covered because this is gonna give it a nice seal on the top and bottom. All right, now I wanna take that over to a nice hot pan where I have a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of butter. So about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and about the same in butter. Make sure the pan is nice and hot before you bring the meat into that fat. So while that sizzle is happening over there, we're going to make a wonderful paste that's going to go right over the top of this brisket. So I've got my food processor out here, and I want to start with a couple of sprigs of thyme. It's just nice fresh thyme, and what I'm looking for is about 1/2 teaspoon, 3/4 teaspoon of fresh thyme. So I'm just pulling off all those leaves. Don't put in the stems, they're a little bit too hard for this. But remove all of those luscious leaves that you can get off. Now let's take an onion. This will act as our main ingredient for this wonderful barbecue sauce paste that we're putting right on top. Okay, let's just slice it up. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is all going to be paste, so it doesn't matter the size. We just want to break it down a little bit. Now let's add a little Worcestershire, about 3 tablespoons. Some smoked paprika, about 1 teaspoon. About 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and again, adjust as you like. 6 to 8 cloves of garlic. If they're large, use 6. If they're medium to small, use 8 to 10. But I like a lot of garlic in this. It gives great flavor and lots of depth. Then I want to take about 4 tablespoons, 1/4 cup of a tomato paste. And I really like just a nice rich tomato paste that you get in the tube. It's double concentrate, but if you can't find that, that's fine. Use a 6-ounce can, one of those tiny cans of tomato paste. And then about 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Now let's just process this. Now let's set up a pan to roast this amazing brisket. Now I want to take a pan that's just slightly bigger than the brisket. You don't want a huge pan because then you need too much liquid. So the pan that I've chosen is just slightly larger than the brisket. Then I want to take a piece of aluminum foil, doubled, that's large enough for that brisket to fit into and be sealed over. And put that in the pan. Okay, let's take that brisket out of that hot pan. It is seared on both sides and nice and crispy from the flour. I'm pairing up this brisket with a Petite Verdot, which really has a nice rich flavor, and it holds up so well to brisket, and particularly to brisket with barbecue sauce. There we go. Now I want to take a little beef stock and a little bit of red wine. I start with about 1 cup to 1 1/4 cups of each, or about 2 cups altogether. And I want to just pour in a little bit of the beef stock first. I'm going to hold just a little in case I have a little extra space. What I'm looking for is to put the liquid almost halfway up the meat. That's why I'm only using about 2 cups together. Now I'll wrap this up tightly and stick it in a 350-degree oven for 3.5 hours. That looks wonderful. Can't wait to get my teeth into that. Now, this makes amazing sandwiches. It's also great as an entree. I'm going to slice it up. I did let it rest for about 30 minutes out of the oven before slicing it. So we're sure that all those juices are just melded in there, and it's wonderful. Now let's plate it up with a little mashed potato and some roasted Brussels sprouts and have an amazing meal. This looks so good. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to take just a little bit of my sauce from my pan. Just give it a little drizzle. So good, so good, so delicious. What a pairing. I hope you'll enjoy this the next time you want a fantastic dinner that you can just put in the pot and forget about it.